And I guess this is to the point you said earlier on, Jason, is you guys have started at with the alpha that came out. How long ago was the alpha?
A year ago.
A year ago. And you guys have rapidly built new functionality. So like the pace you guys have brought stuff to market on has been quite impressive. So I guess, how are you going to continue that sort of roadmap of new functionality coming through?
Yeah. So hiring more people and going faster.
Is that where the investment's going then, right? That's good.
But the beauty about how Curve is structured is that we don't have the legacy system of a bank, but we also don't have the capital requirements or the different cost structures that a bank has. All we are is a technology company layer that sits on top and connect the user with various services. And there's no real movement of money that sits on top of the deposit with us.
For something that's essentially a new category, as you describe, how are you going about defining the roadmap for customer functionality? Because you recently launched the
Go back in time.
Yeah, which I loved. I loved that idea of being able to kind of redirect post payment. So was that something that customers said they wanted, or was it something that you devised and took to customer?
So Go Back in Time specifically started with a problem we created for ourselves. And then we solved it for ourselves. And while doing so, we also did a lot of customer research, and we figured out actually there is something here in this problem that we created that exists even outside of Curve to some extent. But the methodology we use at the company, and something Jason just mentioned, is the jobs to be done. We do a lot of research with the product marketing team, with users, and we're trying to understand the benefits and the jobs that the user is trying to do. To those who are not familiar with jobs to be done, it's quite simple. Jobs are universal. They're not changing. They're there for 5,000 years. If you want to move a package from point A to point B, there's multiple ways of doing so, from riding a horse to using a telegraph or to using an email. So what are the universal jobs that people are trying to do with their money? And we dissected them into 4 categories that we're looking at around spending money, sending money, seeing money, and saving money. And seeing money doesn't only mean my ability to stay on top of my spend and see how it looks in the app beautifully, but it also means around managing expenses, for example. And it's around connecting to personal finance management tools. Saving money can mean rewards. It can mean saving accounts, can mean investments. So we got into a stage where we created a better way to pay. That's the hook. That's the into the market, and a platform that can become that experience there eventually. And now we're focusing on different jobs that we identify that users would like to have them. Building a better proposition for managing expenses, for example, which is not only connecting to the likes of Xero and QuickBooks and Concur. So when you pay, it automatically reconcile everything. So it saves you time and money. It also allows you to manage your teams better. So instead of, and I'm giving you an insight about the feature we're working on, instead of giving a card to your team members and moving money to your team members, which is annoying to manage that, it removes money from your account. Let's just share a funding card with them. So it's all your cards in one, so we can share the funding card with the team members, and you can just use it, and you see real-time notification, invoices coming in, connecting to your different account systems, and reconciled. So it's around saving money and time, or giving other benefits. There's absolute truth that occurs in the world, and we're trying to tap to each one of those.
So Mariano said you had some amazing figures in terms of the engagement. Is there anything you can share?
It's a small world here, and once you go fundraising, everyone knows your metrics, I guess. So those who need to know already. So what's amazing in the metrics we see are 2 things. The first one is the share of wallet. So we measure share of wallet by saying how much money is being passed through the Curve card. Yes, it's a bit biased because we start with a beachhead market of solopreneurs, micro businesses, so they're more affluent, or they spend more for the business. Mm-hmm. But still, it's higher than the average in the UK, which is north of £1,000 a month. And if you compare it to any other fintech, it's remarkably well. The second one, which is the retentions metrics. So we measure retention. 2 main metrics we're looking at is the DAO MAU, how many times a day, how many days a month or a week a user using the product. And the second one is once you give someone the Curve product, how many of them are staying? So our retention over cohorts is over 50%. You give you a card, you almost never leave us. And it's before even doing any growth mechanics. And the DAO MAU that we have for those users who stay is over 50%. So they use it almost every other day on average. So I use it every day. But we're still not happy. So when we went to the investors, we told them we're still not happy with this metric. And the reason we're not happy with this metric because the DAO MAU is contextual. The DAO MAU of a toothbrush is 100%, or if not 200. So the DAO MAU of a payment that is all the cards in one should be higher than the average DAO MAU that you should see for someone who banks only with one card. So we're aiming to increase that as well. And the way to increase it is to give, again, more value to the user. So I got all my cards in one. Great. Now what? And get more insights and benefits to the user about why you should use it and why I should keep moving away also from the card into the app itself.